Gil, networking seems more important than ever, especially for professionals and job seekers. How has it evolved in today's world?
Wow, what a powerful question. Uh, I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I remember when I was already in high school, I understood the value of having money and not needing to ask my family for money. And I
Mhm.
don't come from a wealthy family, so having a little bit of money from my parents never gave me that freedom to maybe treat my friends or maybe bring something to with me. So looking for jobs is something I practiced a lot. And
Yeah.
back in the days, this is going back, 30 years, I just looked at the back of a newspaper back then and just circled all the different jobs I can find. And back then, I was a super introvert and an immigrant already since the age of 10, English being my third language. I had to find a way to get jobs by just getting them to agree to meet me at the interview. And I
Yeah.
had to basically practice and practice. It's almost like speed dating. How
Yeah.
do I speak about myself? How do I learn to ask questions? How do I get people to like me? How do I learn to show that I've done my due diligence before? So, why is this, why has it evolved so much? Because back then, there was there was a much bigger need for people to come into jobs. And
Mm.
today, especially where we are with technology evolving, with AI evolving so much, many people really need to show why they have networking abilities.
Yeah.
Because if you do very simple tasks that today an AI could do very easily for you, you become replaceable very easily.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you so much unless you have interpersonal skills, unless you know how to talk to your colleagues, you know how to talk to potential clients, you know how to talk to, as an account manager, you know how to build relationships, you know how to pick up a phone and call people. You're not going to be as valuable into the future workspace. Now, I've not had a job myself in more than 13 years, but in the last 13 years, I've hired more than 400 people in my companies. So I understand what it means to hire people and manage people and lead people. Now, I'll be very honest, I don't love managing people. I like inspiring them and leading them. But
Yeah.
for the managers out there that are looking to maybe hire one of you, definitely follow, what my hair is sharing, because I'm very inspired by the content of the career coach and how he's helping people take that path. Because a big chunk of the world is not going to become entrepreneurs. They're going to end up working in the corporate world or working with entrepreneurs. If you
Yeah.
want to work with entrepreneurs, the greatest value you can develop yourself is networking with entrepreneurs, going to the right events and meeting the right entrepreneurs, showing them that you are inspired by them. You could start networking at home so you could learn who this entrepreneur is. Imagine how many people out there would go into an interview and they don't do enough research on who's interviewing them.
Yeah.
Imagine how many people go for a business meeting or even go on a date and they don't do enough research on who's going to spend time with them. The same thing goes if you're going to work in the corporate world or if you're currently working in the corporate world. I remember that in my early 20s working in the corporate world, I wanted to learn, how can I climb up the corporate world
Yes.
using what I call the new codes of networking. So it's not, oh, I need to wait a few years to climb up slowly. No, no, no. How can I climb up in 1 year to be at the top of the corporation? People are like, Gil, how? I've been here for 15 years and I moved up a little bit. You've been here for a year and you moved up sitting next to the CEO of the company. And
Yeah.
yeah, it really came down to, back then, this is going back 20 years, I didn't know what I know today. So what I'm sharing with you guys today is really gold. What I knew back then is that no one needs to limit me and the way I network. They limit themselves in the way they network. And networking is not a shallow way of connecting with people. For me, networking are a set of, you could even see, spiritual practices. You can even see networking as a form of, well, I need to drink water. I need to maybe pray or meditate or somehow give myself some time. People are networking when they connect with their animals and pets. People are networking when they want to maybe connect with God or spirit. People are networking when they want to connect with family members. Some people are even networking with plants. There's so much science that says that if you say nice words to your plants at home, they will grow much more. There's science behind that. There is
Or
science
playing
behind.
music to the plants.
Yeah, there's science behind why we love networking with cats and dogs. That's an exchange. So imagine the science behind human beings networking. And because we come from different cultures and we have different backgrounds, and maybe I had an amazing morning, but maybe the person that's interviewing me didn't have an amazing morning. And
Yeah.
I'm not sensitive enough to what's how networking is. It means that I'm cutting my chances in getting a job by 95% because all I'm trying to do is sell myself to them
Mm.
instead of trying to network with them and connect with them.
Yeah.
And that's where people need to understand that a lot has changed in the world. And networking is something we all must learn to study, which is why I love networking with people with tea, because I find that people try to network with alcohol, people try to network with food. That slows us down.
Mm.
Networking just by itself is nice, but I find that networking with tea is almost like a biohacking way of connecting us with ourselves and connecting with others.
Yeah. And I also believe that networking should be about them, not about you. You're not selling yourself. You should be, as you mentioned earlier, curious mindset about them, about their lives, adding value to them, and then later on you can ask something in return.
I love that. So what you're saying is very, very powerful. When we're networking, we have two ears and one mouth, meaning can we find a way, especially in the early stage in the relationship, talk less and
Yes.
listen more? So ask more good questions, come prepared with some interesting questions to ask about them or the company or the mission behind it. Go after questions that will get them to open up to you, whether it's a person that can offer you a job, whether it's a person that can offer you a business opportunity. Get to know who they want to connect with. And that could mean that that is exactly you in front of them. And when time develops, you're not going to talk about them or you. You're actually going to talk about the potential of the relationship. So
Yes.
Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, always spoke about the power of the third. But it wasn't about three people. It's about when two people meet up, they actually plant a seed. And that seed is the beginning of that relationship. And if
Yes.
we cannot learn to understand that it's not about what could you do for me or what could I do for you, is if we're connecting with each other in an open, authentic, even strategic way, what does that mean for the relationship? We can actually become better. And as Keith Ferrazzi, who wrote the book Never Eat Alone, says very, very in a genius way, we can co-elevate with other people that we meet.
Yeah. Those are great tips, Gil. Thank you very much. Again, for the audience watching or listening, if you have any other tips, please leave them below and tune in next time for another great question with Gil.